How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about The Houses October Built from 2014. This is directed by Bobby Roe and stars Brandy Schaefer, Zach Andrews, Bobby Roe, the director, Jeff Larson, and Mikey Roe. So this movie is a found footage Halloween movie, which are two popular genres. It's kind of funny, we haven't seen them cross over super often. But the big thing with this movie is about 2/3 of this found footage movie is legitimately actually real. So that's cool, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot. No spoilers, but I want to, I want you guys to have an understanding about what the movie's about. This movie, you get a group of friends, and they rent an RV for this big trip. You see, their goal is to make a documentary about haunted houses, and they're going to go to a bunch of real haunted houses in the Texas, Louisiana area. And that's really fun. For those of you who don't know, the channel is actually based in Texas, and some of these haunted houses they go to aren't too terribly far from where I live, so always fun to see your local area get a shout out, especially when they're covering real haunted houses. But yeah, Texas and Louisiana, but Texas. Anyway, so they're looking at all these haunted houses, they're taking the camera in and filming as they go through the haunts, and then interviewing the workers and interviewing the crowd that hangs out outside. And in addition to seeing what they've built and what's inside these haunted houses, you do get to see the people behind it, the people around it, the culture, which was really, really fun. But the thing is, this group starts to want more and more, bigger and bigger haunts, and they want to see something extreme. Now, they've heard of, extreme haunted houses that you can go to when you sign a waiver and they can do more stuff, but they want the most extreme. And they've heard a rumor that there's this group called the Blue Skeletons, and the Blue Skeletons every year in a different location hold the most terrifying haunted house, but they don't advertise it. You have to find it. So they talk to these people, and they go from person to person, rumor to rumor, place to place, and some kind of seedy locations, looking to see if they can find people that know where this year's Blue Skeleton haunted house is. But of course, the question with this, and the question that it's famous for, is how long is it really a haunt? How long till you go overboard? How long till this isn't just fun and games anymore? And when do those people cross the line? But also, when do you notice that those people have crossed the line into the legitimate, dangerous, not a fun haunted house anymore? Or have they ever even tried to just be fun? Are they all just crazy from the beginning? And it's these questions that really drive the movie. It's something unique, and a few other movies would touch on this, and whenever they do, I always think, oh, that's like Houses October Built. That's like that question. So that's always really fun. But anyway, let's just dive right in with the biggest strength of this movie. And that's the fact that this is a found footage horror movie that, like I said earlier, about 2/3 of it is real. You have a setup where the characters are filming a documentary anyway. They're going to haunted houses that if you were there in, 2014 or maybe 2013 when they filmed this, if you were in Texas or Louisiana, you could go legitimately to these haunted houses, and I bet most of them are probably still around, and if you wanted to track them down, you can go to these in real life. they talk to and interview real people around the haunted houses and real people that operate the rides, and you do get to see the culture. You know, the people that, like, I didn't suspect this with haunted houses, but, you know, lots of people just stay and party in front of a haunted house for, you know, all night. And the workers talk about how they really want to scare people. They get really into it. You know, they get their costumes and their characters, and, you know, they really trying to scare people. But they also have crazy stories about things they've heard happen, things they've seen themselves, rumors. And if it's not talking about the blue skeleton, these are all real stories, and it's pretty crazy to hear what these lives are like, you know, working in a haunted house and hearing people who are fans of haunted houses, and then seeing the actual haunted houses themselves, the outsides, the insides. It's great to see these locations and these people, and it's really fun. It's almost just a regular documentary about it, but with a fun little bit of fiction to spice it up a bit. And also, I should point out, this is technically kind of a remake. You see, they shot this movie originally on really cheap cameras, and they said they didn't mind this because they figured that's what their characters would have actually used. You know, low-budget documentarians, hey, just grab whatever camera we can, find it, go. But then it got popular enough, and they wanted to show it on the big screen, and there were people who were eager to do that. But these cameras did not look really good on the big screen, so they had to go out and reshoot most of the movie on better cameras, which means that, you know, a lot of these are different experiences, which, I mean, even though I know it's not great picture quality, and I would still, if they made it an option, I would love to watch the original version of this movie, but I don't think it's out there, and only a few people have seen it at, like, special screenings before this got big. But I would love to see the original Houses October built if they want to make that available. I know it'd be kind of weird if you sold it as a DVD and then people are like, what's with this picture quality? So maybe a bonus feature whenever they finally get around to making Houses October Built 3. Or, you know, maybe even make it a special edition, you know, to sell it. You know, like, maybe Scream Factory releases a Blu-ray of this, and that's one of the bonus features and the selling points. I don't know. I would love to see the original, though. But also, I should point out that they do use part of the original. Every now and then, for, like, transition pieces, they show interviews, and they're in a smaller format, you know, because basically, if you have a worse quality video, you make it small in relation to the screen so that you can't see the bad quality of the video. And these are, you know, stories from the first one that they really wanted to keep in, and in turn they just, you know, made them smaller, used them as transitional pieces, and in turn you get a little bit of the original in there still, and that's cool. But anyway, yeah, it's a really weird and unique concept, and when I heard about that, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Now, for those of you who aren't big on found footage movies, this does have a lot of the found footage tropes. You know, a lot of characters sitting around, not really talking about anything, just hanging out, like people do in real life, but I know a lot of people want their movies to be more cinematic, and they don't particularly care about that. So there is a bit of that. There is, yeah, a little lollygagging and people, you know, not enunciating the plot, and in turn like, oh, hey, yeah, let's go there. Yeah, sure, why not? Which is realistic, but not everyone likes it. The other thing is you do get some scenes with shaky cameras. In particular, they go in a haunted house. They're moving around and looking at the haunted house, and it's not necessarily nice, clean, slow pans, but then you also get a haunted house actor scares them, and what happens when you scare a guy with a camera? Whoa! And, I mean, that's to be expected. That's selling the actors being scared, but at the same time, oh man, he got spooked and now I can't see what's going on. There's a movie I reviewed on this channel a bit ago, Camp Coldbrook, which had segments of that movie being in found footage. Not a lot of it, but just a bit. and they had to go, look, we have these special gimbals, so now our footage won't be shaky, and they had to introduce that. And maybe if they do part 3, maybe do like, hey, gimbals, maybe. They might have done that in the second, I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. I'm going to rewatch part 2 for these Halloween reviews, so we'll see about that when we get there. But anyway, you know, like I said, some found footage tropes, a bit of shaky camera, and there are parts that are underlit because they're, you know, literally filming in a haunted house and filming outside at night. There's not supposed to be too much light. So a lot of the flaws I find are forgivable and really, if anything, make it more realistic. But yeah, this movie is a great movie. It's one of the more modern Halloween classics, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll cover the second one really soon, but definitely check out this movie. I like it. It's a horror movie, a found footage movie that 2/3 of it is real, and it'd be fun just to see the haunted houses, because in real life you maybe go to 1 or 2, but to get to see a whole bunch of them, real ones, it's a great fun haunted house documentary that has a little bit of a story for extra flair, because hey, you know, now it's, you know, got this overlying plot. And there are cool things in that story. I almost forgot to mention, there's like a girl with a doll mask, and she is at, I think they say she's at every haunted house, kind of following them around. Sometimes you see her easily, sometimes she's featured prominently, other times she's like hidden in the background, you have to look for her, and I think there might be a few other characters that do that, but yeah, definitely keep an eye out for the doll woman. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. I do about 95% horror movies on this channel. If that sounds like something you're into, I definitely recommend sticking around. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist down here. This should be my Halloween playlist. We're going to be filling this playlist up with Halloween movies all October long. So definitely stick around to check that out. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Have a good day.